Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melvin Williams, and I'm coming to you live from M&N Communications. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about cybersecurity and the state of the market. I really wanted to create this webinar today because there's a very dramatic situation going on in the market. Cybersecurity is a big thing, and small businesses just do not understand how important it is to make sure that they're prepared and they're combating and that they're protecting their clients' personal identifiable information, their PII. So, because of that, I had a situation this weekend, and it was truly something that I didn't even expect to see in this current market. So, anyone who has ever interacted with me would easily see how much I love technology and how the business of technology is creating some amazing opportunities for my life. For the most part, I've been preaching digital transformation to all of the stakeholders, all of the business owners that I know. It's something that I think that is going to be able to add real value to an organization. So with that being said, that's going to bring me to what we're going to be talking about today, and that's cybersecurity and those cyber attacks that are ahead. So 71% of all data breaches happen to businesses with less than 100 employees. Data breaches don't just happen to large companies like Target or Home Depot. They're happening to businesses of all size. So we have to be aware of the myth, that one myth that I can't afford as a small business owner to allocate those resources to protect my infrastructure or to protect my cybersecurity, because the larger businesses are still doing that. Well, I have to tell you right now that the market has shifted, and there are readily partners who would love an opportunity to help protect your intellectual property or to help protect your business. Because small to medium-sized businesses collect customer, employee, and vendor names, addresses, social security numbers, and date of births, unlike any other business. And that information is readily available for criminals who want to attack those small businesses. The next thing is 60% of all small businesses go out of business after a data breach. You need to ask yourself the question, are you prepared to withstand the thing that comes with the reputation of having a data breach? Data breaches are expensive and can damage a company's reputation. Legal, IT breaches, notifications, and identifying monitoring expenses can add up quickly. After a data breach, customers will often leave the business due to a lack of trust. So ask yourself that question. Can you afford for your customers that you work so hard for to lose your business? It's going to cause a lot of anxiety within the market. That's why it's so important that we make sure that our employees are properly trained. They understand how to spot a phishing email. They understand how to protect customers' personal identifiable information, because the stakes are very high, and 60% of small businesses go out of business after that data breach. So there are many vectors, many ways that data is being breached, and that brings us on to ransomware. Ransomware is a real threat to all businesses. The one thing about ransomware, it's the time that it takes to get your data back, and it only takes one employee. So ask yourself the question, are you properly training your employees to spot a phishing email, to see a phone scam? Do they understand the dangers of social media scams? Have you talked to them about how to create a unique password? When avoiding using business emails accounts for personal activity, have you talked to them about the employee being the weakest security link? And if they don't care, then it makes it very easy for cyber criminals to go ahead and install that malicious software known as ransomware. So ransomware is a method of holding data hostage until a ransom or payment has been made to release that data. Ransomware is usually associated with fake emails called phishing emails that contain malicious attachments such as Microsoft Word documents, PDF files. Once these attachments are opened, a program locked encrypts all of the data on the workstation. Ransomware can spread to other workstations and servers on the network. So ask yourself the question, can you afford the computer or the server that has all of the financial data on it to be held captive by malicious software or malicious cyber criminals? And that answer can be found by saying, no, we cannot afford that. So that also brings me to the employees. The employees are going to be that weakest link. An IBM study found that 95% of data breaches are caused by employee mistakes. These mistakes include falling victim to a phishing or ransomware attack, losing a laptop or smartphone, or sending sensitive information to the wrong recipient. That PII, the personal identifiable information. Employees need security awareness training to help prevent those mistakes. So ask yourself the question, are you properly training your employees? What are the best practices? How do we notice a ransom attack? How do we notice a phishing attack? What are we doing to combat that? And that's going to bring us on to what are our best practices. Although criminals target SMBs, employing best practices can help protect your company against cyber attacks and data breaches. The following are best practices that you can take to minimize the chance of a data breach. One of the first things you really have to do is you have to have a secure password. Passwords are key to networks. It's the key to the network, the customer's information, online banking, and social media platforms. So if you start off with a strong password, 9 times out of 10, you're going to do those other things to help to protect your network. Consider changing that password every 90 days or having the IT department implement procedures that force the password to be changed. Don't post your password in plain sight. Consider using a password manager and consider using multi-form factor authentication, making sure that data is going to be encrypted within transit and at halt, because we have to protect the data. HIPAA compliance states that data has to be protected, and if we don't encrypt it, we're going to find ourselves in a world of trouble. So lost laptops, smartphones, USB drives continue to cause data breaches. How many businesses don't realize how much sensitive information is on a mobile device? That sensitive information can be an email, a spreadsheet, a document, a PDF file, or a scanned image. There's multiple different types of encryption that we can use to protect that data. Mobile device encryption, email encryption, workstation encryption. The best way to protect this sensitive information is to use these multiple forms. Under many federal and state regulations, encryption is a safe harbor. That means that if a mobile device is lost or stolen and the data is encrypted, then an incident would not result in a reportable breach. Once again, the incident will not result in a reportable breach. We can't afford breaches. We want to make sure that we're protecting that data, encrypting that data, so that our employees' data and our clients' data is secure. So the next thing that we're going to step to, because the real reason why I turned around and did this webinar is because, once again, I was at the doctor's office, and during my time in the doctor's office, I realized that my data was publicly accessible. There was a hard drive in the waiting room, and I was in there for maybe 15 minutes by myself. I could have took a USB hard drive and downloaded all of that data that was on there. So this really, really gets down to who are training the employees at that particular doctor's office. Did they understand that there's a better way to protect their customers, that they could have had a thin client in there, and that they could have had a virtual desktop, making sure that the customer's data is not accessible? So that's going to bring us over to the next thing, making sure that our employees are fully trained, because 95% of all data breaches are caused by employee mistakes. It's critical to ensure that an employee understands the risks to sensitive information and the threat of a data breach. Phishing and ransomware are leading the method of attacks, and if the employee doesn't understand how to notice them, if the employee doesn't know to notify the IT department after experiencing ransomware, making sure that the device is quarantined and taken off the network, then Precious time is being lost, time that the IT department could be spent making sure that this breach is contained and taken care of. And because those 95% of data breaches that are caused by employees, we could dramatically decrease that rate if we were able to train our employees, making sure that they have the proper understanding of the proper vectors that these hackers are using. Because the business of technology is in 2018, but also the business of hacking is also in 2018. So one of the things that we have to make sure that we do after we train these employees, we need to make sure that we back up the data. Backing up the data and having a disaster recovery plan in place is going to speed up the remediation of a ransomware attack. It's going to speed up the process of us getting back to work and being able to service our customers. Backing up data will protect your business from data loss due to damaged service or malicious code such as ransomware. A fire, flood, explosion, or a natural disaster can destroy systems that contain valuable information. Only 6% of companies survive longer than 2 years after a significant data loss. Are you a part of that 6%? Can you afford to have your personal identifiable information out on the dark web? When is the last time you even checked to make sure that your information was out on the dark web? So once again, the reason why I did this webinar is because as I was sitting into the doctor's office, I started asking myself questions like, well, if they're not training their employees or their IT department on how easy it is to protect customer data by not having it at the physical location, what else are they missing? Has my data been stolen from this particular office, and is it out on the dark web? Do the employees understand the dangers of social media scams? What else have they not been doing? What other security risks have been associated with this particular place, because they wouldn't do something as simple as make sure a hard drive is not readily accessible to someone else? And that next thing brings me on to, what do you do when you think that you may have experienced some type of risk? So one of the things we do when we partner with our clients is we take them through a security risk assessment. We understand that you can train. We understand that you can buy the newest software. We understand that you can make sure that everyone understands what needs to be done. But if you don't understand the risks, if you don't do an assessment of what's being done, then you don't have accurate data and you can't properly prepare yourself for the unknown. So many small businesses don't know where their critical data is, or how it is being protected, or what the risks of the data are. Cybersecurity is a business. It's a blind spot. So making sure that you work with a partner that has a system or a platform in place to do a security risk is one of those 5 things to combat cybersecurity. It is very, very, very detrimental that we work with partners. And that's going to lead me to M&N Communication and what my company does. We are technology brokers. We are managed solution providers. So that being said, and on this particular subject of security, I'm going to say, stack your technology solutions together with M&N Communications, your one-stop shop for all of your technology needs. We work with over 150 partners, so you only need one. Understanding the landscape of cybersecurity is creating enormous opportunities for cyber criminals. More data is being moved, mined, and sold than ever before, increasing the opportunity to steal it, ransom it, and profit it on the dark web. So when you have a partner that understands the landscape, understands the vendors, they become a weapon. You're allowed to have a system that continuously keeps your business going on. You have continuity. Your security is up to tight. Your infrastructure is firm. And because of all of that, your employees remain productive. So the last thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about why it's important to work with an MSP, and what type of businesses we work with. So we work with many different types of businesses from various industries, but the primary focus is on a small and medium-sized market companies. Those companies that have a desire for outstanding support and advanced cloud solutions that enable the business to grow and succeed. Those businesses that are facing regulatory obligations and need a compliance-first partner. Businesses that operate in one or more locations and conduct business on the go and are seeking stability and mobility. Advancements with desktop as a service. Those businesses that are looking to integrate Internet of Things into their portfolio, making sure that they can track their data, their customers' data, and everything along those lines. So once again, I'm going to say stack your technology solutions together with M&N Communications. Our portfolio of services include cloud products, you know, uh, data products, local products, voice products, IT as a service, software as a service, uh, UCAS, unified communication as a service, collaboration as a service, IT as a service. So I'm going to end this by showing you why it is important to work with an MSP. And it is because MSPs understand the importance of having a relationship with multiple partners who understand the landscape and who understand the dark web. To conclude, I hope you enjoy this dark video and what we're going to be doing. Anyone who leaves a comment to this particular video, we're going to be giving your organization a dark web assessment for free. Once again, we're going to give your organization a dark web assessment for free. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you have a great Monday. And this is Melvin Williams from M&N Communications on Manage Monday. Thank you.